Good evening. No, no. Can you hear me? I can hear myself on YouTube. Let's have a look. Let's check for. Let me just check. Yes, you can hear me, chat. Well, welcome to let me just actually turn off this YouTube. This is actually a holiday Christmas special of Rock Players. And what asked Rock, I said, well, hey, Rock, can I actually come in as a face from Christmas past? And he was like, of course, bud, join in. So I thought I'll come and chat to you lovely gamers about the highs and lows of 2023 games. And why I'm talking about this subject is because it's the sale season and the season of gifting. So maybe we can actually talk about some games that I could influence you on, or you can influence me on, and we'll actually buy them for ourselves or our loved ones in the season. So, yeah, how have you all been? I hope you're all good and you're kicking back your shoes off and you're actually sneakily diving into some games because this time of season is very hectic. I know I've been busy wrapping up Christmas gifts for my loved ones. I wish they were just easy getting digital vouchers and stuff like that, but they like having stuff to unwrap. So yeah, so let me just say hello to people in chat. Miss Phoenix. Evening, everyone. And she says, and Reva says, Hoults. Well, hello, Reva, and hello, chat. And I hope you've all been, enjoying uh, gaming, should I say. And I know I have. I've just been sitting back today and I've just been playing a little bit of my Steam Deck because I feel like, life's getting a bit too hectic and I feel like I have to steal some hours away. And I think portable gaming is the best way going forward, should I say? For me, and then followed by cloud gaming second, where I can just get up and play something that's not too stressful. Because I feel like these days I'm getting fatigued with too much hyping game, too much action, should I say? But I've just been chilling, and yeah, that's me. Today I went out to the cinema to see Aquaman 2, and I thought it was an okay movie. If you're a moviegoer and you love DC, then I feel like if you've got nothing better to do over the holidays and you want an all right movie, goodish, you know, a bit of fun, definitely go and see it if that is your thing. So yeah, as I was saying to before, why I actually want to talk about 2023 games is I just feel like this year has just been all over the place. I feel like in news wise, there's been highs, yay, lows, ooh, bad ports. And I just feel like, why not talk about it? Why not talk about it? Hello, Rudigs. Hope you're doing good this seasonal holiday season. I still say holiday season because a lot of people don't believe in Christmas, and that is fine. We can all celebrate in our own little ways, especially in the gaming world. But yeah, King of Atlantis and his hair. It's always great when you see mermaids, isn't it? When you see mermaids, doesn't matter if it's a little mermaid or Aquaman, anyone that's underwater, they always have that lovely flowing hair, doesn't it? That looks like the sea salt's done marvels for it. And they're all handsome, I guess, and they've got these lovely locks. The men and the women just sitting there. I wonder if we stuck Rudigs underwater, his hair will start going like very luxurious, wavy. We will have to ask him. We'll have to ask him. What do you think, Rude's eggs? Would you have them lovely flowing locks underneath the water? But yeah, so why I actually mentioned about Aquaman is because it's the end of the year, and I feel like I've really enjoyed a lot of. Before I go into games, I know I'm going off tangent here, but Aquaman was probably my last movie I'm going to see this year. So that is why I actually brought it up. That's why I brought it up. Rudig said he's a Christmas guy. Great, great. I hope you're eating loads of bad food. You know what I mean? That's the holidays, isn't it? Binge on bad food. Me, I've actually had a cookie party. I bought 64 cookies and loads of hot chocolate, and I sort of sat around with the family and binged eat. And the problem is with that many cookies, you think you can do it until you start realizing going, ugh, and people go, "Do you want another triple chocolate cookie?" And you're like, "No, that's me. That's my quota for the year." You know what I mean? A cookie party, yeah, Phoenix. That's what it was. Because what happened was, it was my niece. She's lovely. She's 7. She was like, "How come Santa gets 8 cookies?" And I was like, "Well, Santa gets 8 cookies because he's a very hard-working person." And he's like, "Well, if all kids put 8 cookies out, then that's a lot of cookies for Santa and his elves. Why can't I eat 4 cookies and just give Santa 4?" And I was like, "Oh, that's a good logic. Well, how about we just buy our own cookies and then we'll leave Santa's alone?" So then I got together with my brothers and sisters, and we just got cookies, hot chocolate, and all the festive stuff, and we had a nice little party, should I say, just on biscuits, eggnog, hot chocolate. It was silly, but that is the season, isn't it? Watching stupid movies, like, well, I wouldn't say stupid, but silly movies, cheesy movies, Home Alone, and watching stuff like Elf and stuff like that. So I've actually been, um, I love all that. I'm a Christmas guy as well, Weaver says. Yeah, I was actually going to put a Christmas hat on, but I couldn't find it. And what I love about the seasons is it's one of them times where you can actually put them Christmas jumpers on, or put them clothes with all silly festive stuff, but it makes you feel proud that you got one on. Is anyone sitting there now on the holiday season with their Christmas jumpers or pajamas, sitting back, playing some games in like the most fluffiest reindeer jumper you'll ever see? So why not a pizza party? I actually had a pizza party as well. I had a pizza party last week. That was an excuse to sit there and say, New Year's coming, you need to lose the weight. Why not have a pizza party? Domino's. That was fun as well. You know what I mean? All this stuff is going to cripple us for next year, and we're going to whinge about it. Yeah. Holly Holtz, I mean, you can imagine, isn't it? I thought about what's going to be my username, Sanchez, and I thought, Holiday Holtz. So simple. But I hope it brings a cheer to everyone else. Just speaking about the festive season, where we're all round loved ones. How are you, Sanchez? Are you looking forward to the holidays, especially with your new kids? I mean, that's a magical time, isn't it? When kids are young and you got family and friends around you, and you can just sit there and just do all the silly stuff, binge eat, binge movies, without a care in the world. I think that's a nice joyful message, isn't it? To spend with family and friends. I'll just give a few minutes just wait until people come in, and then I'll actually move on to the recap of 2023 in gaming. I know I've sort of went on a tangent about Holiday and Aquaman and flowing hair, but why not? Why not? So yeah, so once again, Crystal, I haven't said hello, so hello to Crystal as well. Hope you're doing great. She said, I don't know if it's she, he, she, anyone. Sorry if I get anything wrong. It's just, hello, evening, everyone, should I say. Hope you're having a marvelous holiday. Yes, drinking lots of eggnog. Do you know what Sanchez? You've seen in Discord, Mr. Urban World, he's like, Holt, you need to try eggnog. And I've never tried eggnog because eggnog is more like an American thing. Here, we usually have what's called egg flip. It's still eggnog, but it's usually with brandy inside of it. So I've never had non alcoholic eggnog. So I went out my own way to find eggnog. It was actually quite nice. Actually quite nice. I wouldn't sit there and drink loads of it. I'd rather have a nice hot chocolate, should I say, but still. Yeah, and anything to tickle, make you feel festive. Eggnog, hot chocolate, tipple of brandy. You know what I mean? It's all good. Yeah, so starting off, going back into gaming, recapping 2023, I feel like it's just been an amazing year. I mean, when I look back now, I think to myself, starting off from January, it was just such an epic year to come into. I mean, some of these games are older coming to the platform because I remember in January, Persona 4 Gold and 3 came to multiple services. But I remember seeing it come to Game Pass, and I remember thinking to myself, "This is amazing for Xbox to bring these type of games included into their Game Pass library." And then when they teased the idea that future Personas like Persona 5 Royal, Tactica, and what's the one coming out? Persona 3 Royal Reload is coming out next year on Game Pass. I remember thinking to myself, "Yes, I'm going to play all them on my Xbox." But I didn't. I actually decided to play it on the Xbox game streaming. and that just worked flawless. And I'm a big Persona fan, so I was just sitting back, grinding the hours, and I feel like in cloud on a handheld, I think you can just get away with building them hours up. I remember that the first game that was very controversial of the year was Forspoken, which was a Square Enix RPG, and I absolutely loved this game. I was amazed by it. I loved Frey, the character. I loved the person. She's from New York. I thought the comedy was great, the traversal, the magic. And I remember the start of the year, people were like, oh my God, Square Enix has dropped the ball. It's loads of crap. 2024 is going to be horrible. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm having an epic time with this game. And I know over the months, people started changing their mindset to Forspoken when it sort of dropped in price or they wanted to take the risk in playing this. And I seen a lot of people did actually enjoy it. And definitely not bad what the media or people said at the start of 2023. And I would definitely recommend it to anyone. And I feel like this game, if I want to play games anymore, I want that traverse mechanic. I'm sick to death playing RPGs and the horse can't get over a little rock or I'm sick and tired of falling off paths. I just want to be like free and sit everywhere, jump over the mountain, soar across the air, hit with magic. And that's how magic should be. Like something like out of Naruto, you use like the essence of the nature or inside and just traverse the world like that. So I remember thinking to myself, this is an amazing game and a great time to start the year for me. And of course, I tried different games, not just for Spoken. I was playing Fire Emblem Engage on the Switch, and I thought that was an amazing game as well. I really like that kind of anime aesthetic, but mixing in with real time strategy, turn based games. I love that because I feel like I can sink my teeth into it and and have a little bit of story, then a level, then a story, take a break, come back, and I feel that was that great. And then I know I've said there I've mentioned anime, for example, but also Hi-Fi Rush came out in January as well, and I thought to myself, I've never played a rhythm game like that where you have to keep on hitting a button to progress. And I thought to myself, oh my god, this is going to be cheesy, and it was cheesy, and it was so good. And I played that on Game Pass Cloud as well, and I thought that was epic, absolutely uh, epic. And that won an audio award in the Game of the Year. So that was fun as well. So as you can see, the year started off great, and then that's not even finished. And there was a bit of controversy over remakes. I know a lot of people didn't like to see remakes in 2023, but I remember playing Dead Space, Dead Space remake, and people in chat, if you ever played any of the games that I've mentioned, or you got something that I've missed, then by all means put it in chat, and I'll actually read it out and see if I can actually relate to the game, or even advise anyone to check on the sales. Definitely, I would recommend all the games that I've just mentioned previously, especially for Spoken. It must be dirt cheap now on the holidays. Must be, must be. Um, but I've seen loads of people in chat say for Spoken. Yeah, so a lot of the controversy in 2023 was remakes, and I just love Dead Space. I was a bit worried the horror wouldn't scare me as much, but then seeing the Ishimura and seeing the characters again, but in a new remake model, engine, should I say? It just brought back memories, and I was just so happy to spend some of my time in January just grinding through these games. And then also another one came out, Monster Hunter Rise. That came to other platforms. I know that was a Nintendo exclusive at first, but that came to other platforms, and that was a great one. And if you're a fan of Monster Hunter, if you go and check GeForce Now, this week Monster Hunter World is coming to GeForce Now. So that's one is for spoken on GFN. I would love it to be. I haven't checked. I haven't checked in a while. It's a game that I've played. I bought on PlayStation 5, and then I just ignored it. But yeah, not bad, not bad. So people in chat saying Forspoken's not a bad game. And how, see, this is why I like when you sit there and you look back at games like use. You can all have an honest take, and if it's not for you, that's great. But I don't see people slandering it like people did in the forums, and I think that's a bad taste because I feel like it destroyed the game, hurt the franchise, should I say, uh, the developer. And I thought it was a nice little take and didn't deserve the bashing, but it is what it is. So can anyone remember anything that they played in January? Was anyone excited for? I know people said for Spoken. I just mentioned that, but did anyone play Hi-Fi Rush? Did anyone like that different type of mechanic of hitting the beats to progress to music? Bit of rock music and meets anime aesthetics. Yeah, most games are on sale. It's a great time. That's a very smart way to think about it. I wish I could do that, but I tease myself a little bit too much on the hype train. I wish I could be just responsible, step back, wait a few months, wait for the game to sort of get its patches, its updates, drop in price, and then experience it at my own leisure at a heavy discounted price. I think that's great. It is great. So going into February, we had a remaster that caused a little bit of controversy as well, and that was Metro Prime. People are like, oh my god, I'm sick and tired of remasters. I'm sick and tired of remakes. Can't you just give us original games? And I remember think to myself, I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna play this one. I'm gonna play this one. I didn't finish it, and this is how sad it is. I just mentioned about like compulsively buying stuff without going on sale. I should have definitely waited for this game to go on sale because I've just mentioned loads of games in January that could have easily tied me over for months and months and months and months. But it is too much. It is too much. How can I say no? Especially to Nintendo, they sort of twist my arm, and that's it. Another one that was big in February, and it was a very controversial game, Hogwarts Legacy. Set in a time before Harry Potter were all wizards, and that got a bit of backlash. But I can see the fans got behind it, loved the game. I know I was a bit upset at the start in February because the PC um, release was a bit broken, so I just hated the idea that it was so taxing and so buggy. But yeah, Hogwarts Legacy is anyone a wizard or a witch or anyone that loves the world of Harry, the Harryverse, should I call it? Yeah, so you can see a big up of Revis, big up to Hogwarts. I love the aesthetic. I like the look at Hogwarts Legacy. Just the idea of running around as a new student. And I know the student joins in late, but you sit there learning the spells and picking your class. I think that was a nice little intro into the game. I've never played Harry Potter games previously because they were all like Lego based, but I definitely did enjoy Hogwarts Legacy, and I knew that was a bit of controversial in the Game of the Year awards because people sat there and said that it actually should have won some kind of accolades. But yeah, that's that. My next game, if there's any fans of the Yakuza Like a Dragon, Game Pass got Game Pass that came out at a later time. Like a Dragon Ishin that came out, and I was just in awe with that. I actually didn't think I would like it that much, but I was just so in awe of it, and that it actually made me forget that I actually bought on a subscription in EA Access Premium. I actually bought Atomic Hearts, so it was Wild Heart, and then Atomic Heart was on another subscription. And I just remember being hyped for these games in 2022, and he came and he just left. And I didn't actually pay attention. I didn't see anyone really pay attention to Wild Heart and Atomic Heart, which is strange because I love like Monster Hunter and I love like these shooting type of games. And these two fell off my radar instantly. So if people in chat, if you actually did play that game, then by all means, tell us, would you recommend going back on a sale price and actually play Atomic Hearts or Wild Hearts? I know I'll definitely recommend it, like a Dragon Ishin. If you're a Game Pass subscriber, you can actually play that even on the cloud. So if you like that type of series, then yeah, by all means. Uh, February for me was actually a great time as well because the PlayStation actually brought out the PlayStation VR 2. And I wasn't there over the years, the VR experience has really been terrible for me. And I feel like I thought I'll just take one more chance with the PlayStation VR. And I was actually playing games like Cosmopolitan High and Job Simulator and Gran Turismo 7. and it brought a new dynamic, and it brought a new dynamic into my gaming experience. But sadly, it didn't get my hooks into me as other games was. So I apologize if there's any VR gamers out there that sit there and says, they like VR too much. Is there anyone in chat that actually was happy for the PlayStation VR too? Is that something that they wanted to see this year? Yeah, and I was just playing all these VR, thinking like it was going to be the next next thing. But one that I actually recommend, and I think one of the best stories and the best music of 2023 was definitely Octopath Traveler 2. That was from Square Enix, and I was thinking to myself, "Oh, people don't skip the aesthetics of this RPG because of what happens if it's spoken." So I was really happy to jump into Octopath Traveler, and I would definitely recommend to people if you like a heavy story and good mechanics, and yeah, the music was good. So I feel like yeah, that was a definitely one. If you can look back and you know one game that got a little bit of controversy as well. I don't know if you can remember this was Destiny 2 Lightfall. A lot of people complained about that, didn't they? They were all hyped for it, and then they just it's not like the Witch Queen. And I felt like to myself, "Oh my god, it is people going off on one, isn't it? It is people going off." So Phoenix says, "I'm holding off on VR too. I felt a bit queasy playing the first one." Supposedly this one has got like extra hits and features to stop queasiness, but I feel like that I've put a lot of people in my place in VR too, and they've had the same effect. So I don't think the tech actually, proves to get rid of dizziness. I think people just get used to it. So the more you play VR, the more you get, you build a tolerance to it, which is not good, is it? I wouldn't want to be dizzy and sick playing a game going, wow, I'm not liking that. Which is quite actually strange because I bought a pair of AR glasses and they just don't work as effectively as PlayStation VR, even though PSVR 2, the VR experience was more like immersive, but I was getting more queasy just having glasses and a fake television in front of me. Asgard Wrath Asgard's Wrath 2 on the Quest 3 is the best VP actually I've seen. So have you Sanchez, have you played it, or you just seen, like, the trailers and people playing it? Do you actually play the Quest 3? I mean, that's coming up in later in the month, the Quest 3, and I know a lot of people were actually, questioning the success of the PlayStation VR 2 compared to the idea of, Quest 3, because I think the Quest 3 had the market, didn't they? And a lot of people were sitting there saying, uh, that, yeah, it was actually already covered, and PlayStation were not gonna have the library as big enough as, you know, Quest, should I say. Which to me, I mean, I was happy playing Gran Turismo 7. I was happy playing, Call them Out and stuff like that. I was happy with the exclusives of Sony compared to a bigger library on the Quest. Uh, so yeah, in February, I don't know if there's any wrestling fans out there. I know there's a few people that join in We Wrestling Wednesday, but also, the wrestling game came out, the WWE 2023, and I was not a big, wrestling fan, but because people in chat and the discords that I joined, you were like, "Hoults, you haven't played it since like the early 2000s in the wrestling days. You definitely need to come on." So I actually jumped into wrestling after all these years, and I remember having a time, having a blast. I mean, I'm not really into the game, but I think it's the people that make the game. Does anyone feel like that sometimes? It's not your cup of tea, I guess. It's not your game, but then you've got such a great community or just such great friends that make you enjoy the experience tenfold. Yeah, it is a lot of money at accessories just to make you sick. Exactly, Phoenix. Exactly. Sorry if you can hear my another game. I don't know if there's any Bayonetta fans in chat, but Bayonetta, Cereza and the Lost Demons that came out in February, and I love Bayonetta. I just finished Bayonetta 3 the year before, and seeing this in the aesthetic and seeing young Bayonetta, how she got her demons and stuff like that, it was just a great thing to see, and I just loved it. I really did. I thought it was an amazing game. Let's see what chat's saying. What was that golf with friends? Yeah, I guess it says it in the title, doesn't it? Golf with friends, not single player golf like me. I'm not really a golf person, but I can see the chaotic fun with golf with friends because it's got like all different traps. It's like more like mini golf, isn't it? Mini golf, all weird obstacles. I mean, I can imagine. I've never played Fall Guys, but I can imagine if you sat off with a few good friends. I think Fall Guys can have everyone in stitches. I guess so. I can definitely see the joy with golf with friends in hope of a friend. Yeah, that's exactly me. Maybe I'll actually buy it just for the idea that I might actually have it. March. I mean, this was another game that I was looking forward to, and I just felt like that it just dropped off the radar. Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Did anyone play that? I know people were sitting there going, "Oh my god, it's going to be the next Sekiro. It's going to be the next blah blah blah," and it it just fell. I fell flat. I didn't actually hear people. I know it's like it's not just my take, but I just didn't see anyone really be excited for the game after it came out. I've seen a few people play it, but not onto people to talk about it. I know. See, I've just skipped. Bayonetta was March. Looking at this list, I was like, "Oops." Good night, Roaster. Going to bed. He's definitely gonna have a good night. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Well, why not? Relax as the holidays. Hope you've all got your feet up and you're all wearing them little snazzy Christmas PJs and jumpers. Just to all be warm. It's very windy here. Very windy here. So I wish I actually had one to actually a hand, should I say. I was trying to find my Christmas hat. I got a lovely Santa Christmas hat. But I think people have seen it in the past, but I don't know where I've put it. Not bad. I'm driving home from work, driving home for Christmas. Like, I might not sing 'cause I might get a copy. Not like a sound like that, but yeah, you can. You don't want to text and drive. You know what I mean? Stay safe. Keep your eyes on the road, and we'll catch you in chat. So I thought like the first 3 months was absolutely amazing with 2023. And like I said, there was highs, there was lows, bit of controversy, but I didn't actually see it really affect me. And of course, a lot of games went to services, which was for good. And I just remember seeing like people going, "Oh my god, this year's full of DLCs, remakes, and remasters." But speaking about that one, did anyone play that new Horizon Burning Shores? I actually, speaking about DLCs in the month of April, I actually heard that was very good, absolutely good. And people were saying it was actually a really amazing um, story to extend Horizon. To me, it's like I didn't really enjoy Horizon Forbidden West. It reminds me of one too much. Not saying one was a bad one. Not saying one was a bad one. I just felt like I was getting a bit too fatigued with her Horizon at that time. What do people think? Does anyone play the DLC of Horizon? Are there any PlayStation people that really love to see more of these DLCs getting added onto their games? I don't know if you can actually hear my PC fans just. I don't know why. Another game that I really wanted in April, and I actually got it at a later time when it was on sale, was Dead Island 2. I was really looking forward to this one, Stadia. I had my hopes and dreams for it, and I actually thought to myself, "Oh, do you know what? It's a shame what happened to Stadia. Um, by all means, let's try it on a different platform." And I never got round to it. I was sick and tired of seeing the installs, but I do actually go. I just love going around. That's it. Kept me busy in April. Yeah, Phoenix. I mean, there's always something going around in a zombie with like any item you can find, like a mop or something like that. You're just hitting them, aren't you? With luck, die. They're already dead. Like but hitting them, and it's always great when you get like something really powerful. And you just take the zombies out, and you're laughing, ha ha ha, until it breaks, and then you're like, oh crap. But it's good to see that Phoenix, like, it wasn't a anything. It was just built out of anything to hit the zombie with. Or is that just me picking up the weird objects? Knowing me, I don't even pick up a machete and I'm walking around like the ultimate spiked mop. Yeah. Um, a few that I've seen streamers play in April. I did see a lot of people play Bramble, the Mountain King. I know Purple Haze. She really enjoyed it. I remember watching her stream, thinking to myself, "Oh my god, this game is so beautiful but twisted at the same time." And then a few months later, I actually started seeing a few more streamers. So like, there's a lovely streamer called Kai the Kenichi. She was playing Bramble, and she was playing it all month. And I can just remember sitting back, watching them. And I should be playing my own games because I had Star Wars Jedi Survivor in April, and that was a game that I was so hyped for in April. But I just totally forgot about it. Is there any so Phoenix said Bramble looked like a lovely game. I know it was just bizarre, wasn't it? The aesthetics was nice, the voice. It sent when I was watching the streams, it sent shivers down me half the time hearing all that really good audio, but it was in a bizarre world, and I was like, oh, it's like a Little Nightmares esque, and I was like, oh, freaks me out. All them like distorted witches and creatures in the forest. But that's what's so good. It actually edges you to go further and further and further. And the streamers that I was watching was so great, so interacting with the chat and the game, and it was just something that I would really love to play myself if I didn't actually watch it on stream. Now I can't remember seeing Bramble winning awards, and it was stuff like that that you think to yourself, "Wow, the aesthetics and the story was very heartbreaking and stuff like that." At certain points, I'm not going to spoil it, but if you can actually pick that up on sale, that's definitely one of them games you look back in 2023 and you look back and think, "Oh, that's something that I should pick up." If you've not played it before, or you've not had the luxury to watch someone else play it, should I say? So, and then May brought a little bit of controversy, didn't it? May brought a little bit of controversy with Redfall. Um, Redfall came out, and then that's where all the gamers picked up all their pitchforks. I'm never playing a game at 60. For 30, I need it at 60. And fair dues, that is a preference. That is a setting for a lot of people. But I don't feel like a lot of people should have bashed Redfall that harshly. I know a patch came out that brought the 60 frames and more higher frames, but I just remember that game was dead on arrival, day one. It just reminded me of Arkham. Was it Arkham Knights? Where people just bashed it so hard it just never come back. And I've not really seen people really mention about Redfall. I know Rock said he really enjoyed it, and a few people said it wasn't that bad. But yeah, in May, I just remember scratching my head, thinking to myself, "Oh my god, this is ain't a bad this is a bad look for the studio." Was it Arcane, if I can remember, behind it? Yeah, Redfall did bring the drama, and I just remember thinking to myself, "Oh my god." And it was on Xbox, and I just thought I just stood back. I mean, I never put no bias towards it, but I just remember sitting there being on panels and podcasts, and it got dragged through the mud. And I remember people were sitting there going, "Is this what's going to happen in the future with Starfield?" And you thought to yourself, "Oh my god, this is actually going to snowball." I mean, to me, I was like, I put a little bit of time in Redfall, I really loved the the aspect ratio. It was doing a 32.9, and I really played on that, and I thought it looked really great. And I can understand where they tried to go the aesthetically, because sometimes you don't need always them like real life graphics. Sometimes I can play my games without that and still enjoy it. But for a lot of people, they need that. And speaking about like not real games, in real, I was distracted and made by the Legends of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, I was hyped for that. Is there any Zelda fans? Any Zelda fans in chat that was just took away in May by this game? I mean, I really liked the Tears of the Kingdom, but then what I realized, this is what I realized in 2023. I got fatigued because it felt like a little increment from from Breath of the Wild, and I thought I wanted open world, more the merrier. And then I realized I actually miss going back to the old Zelda days where everything was like sort of semi-open but linear. The story was linear. And I feel like maybe it's a time thing, but if I don't have much time to do or explore, but I feel like games like this should push me in a direction. When Breath of the Wild came out, I was like, oh my God, this is the new way to play games. And fast forward 6 years, and I just thought to myself, I don't need this. This is not what I need in May 2023. Still a great game, still amazing. I think it should have won Game of the Year, but it was against a lot of competition. Yeah, so you like the story, eh, Sanchez? I know you said that you can't play games at 30. Yeah, Zelda's always got a special place in my heart, and I love the way it keeps on evolving and evolving, and it's still relevant in today's world. And that was one thing that I just seen everyone go, "Oh my God, the new Tears of the Kingdom Game of the Year award, even in May, even in May, even in May." Well, speaking about something just flip it on its head, a game came out called Lord of the Rings Gollum. I was so looking forward to this game. I remember thinking to myself, I love Gollum. I love Lord of the Rings. This is a game that I'm gonna definitely buy, and it's across it was across loads of platforms. I remember thinking to myself, I'll just wait. I'll just wait to see if it comes free. I'll just wait until it comes free, and or if it comes on GeForce Now. Because at this time of the year, I was getting sick and tired of buying games, waiting for it to come on services, and then sometimes I'll buy it, and then it would come on the service, or it wouldn't come on the preferred way I like to play it. So I remember thinking to myself, I'll wait for Gollum, and lucky I did. Oh my God, I heard that game bombed really hard. Is there anyone in chat that really enjoyed playing Gollum in May? Reva, big up for Tears of the Kingdom. I think we were all playing Tears of the Kingdom in May, or was some of us actually playing Gollum? And this is when I started realizing the backlog of 2023 was becoming real. And this is what I was saying to Sanchez before. I definitely should have just waited for some sales for these games. But it looks like that the games that I've mentioned, a lot of people in chat was actually playing. So I didn't get it. Yeah, you're glad you didn't. I wonder if there's a person out there that will admit that they got Gollum and loved it. Poor little, poor little Smeagol. You know what I mean? Poor little Smeagol. And I feel like the problem with Tears of the Kingdom, because I was playing it too much, I just didn't think what was going to happen in June. I didn't really pay much attention because I thought to myself, well, if everybody's got these games, I'm gonna play them as their notes and something. But it was because of Hitbox Rose. Big shout out to Hitbox Rose. He does a fight cantina throughout the week. He changes days, but usually it's on Friday. He was sitting there, and we were talking about Street Fighter 6, and I was like, oh my God, I love a bit of Street Fighter. So I put some hours into that. I played Street Fighter. I'm really glad that I picked it up on for the Steam Deck. It was actually a good little game just to actually play a little bit here, play a little bit there, and yeah, I think that's how fighters should be. I'm not really a big, huge I'm not really a huge fighting person, but I do love buying fighting games just for a little bit of bashing, button bashing, should I say? I'm not very good at it, but I wish I was very good at fighting games. But I remember just coming off Zelda and then just playing a bit of Street Fighter, and yeah, that was me in June. But one game that I actually seen everyone play in chat in June was Diablo 4. Now I can't play these games anymore because I get too addicted. My problem is with these games is when my friends are doing grinds and getting better gear and better experiences, it makes me want to play more, and it just takes my time away, should I say. But I've seen people in chat and they were just putting hundreds of hours in Diablo 4. And Reva says Diablo 4 fire. Yeah, Rouster, and Phoenix, and that's the problem. Do you feel like with playing with more people, do you think it pushed you to put more hours in? Do you think like you had to be have the better build, the better this, and it just pushed you further and further in the game instead of trying something new? Ooh, that wind and rain of mine. If the microphone picked that up, so you wouldn't go back. So I played some with Rouster, Crystal, and Callie. Ah, to have that experience, to have that experience with friends and having a huge squad and just laughing and joking, takes me back to my days of World of Warcraft and stuff like that. But like I said, I got a little bit too addicted with that game. And gaming addiction is real, and that is why I just wouldn't go back to playing games like that. Another game that I tried to play was Crash Bandicoot Rumble. I remember thinking to myself, wow, this is a game that I'm going to love because of my childhood with Crash Bandicoot and playing Crash Bandicoot in the past. And I played it and I just totally forgot about it. Totally forgot about it. So I just went back to my Legend of Zelda back in that month until Final Fantasy 16 came out. And what a game! What a game. When it comes to when it comes to like Final Fantasies or Square Enix games, this is where my addiction comes in. And I don't really play a lot of games per se. And I've just mentioned loads, but I don't really put the hours in to an extreme. But then when Final Fantasy 16 came out, in 10 days, the game was finished, 70 hours. And I get that way where my mind's like, I need to play it, finish it before people spoil it. And there was always a fear in gaming when it comes to my favorite games that I don't want spoiled because of like Twitter, Twitch, other streams, other people just slip of the tongue. So that was me. Is there any big Final Fantasy fans out there? I know this was very controversial as well because the way it was mechanics. I know a lot of people was like, "Oh my god, you just press square." Yeah, to be fair, you just press square a lot of times. But it's like, don't you do that in a lot of games, just pushing buttons and then moving on? I was really glad that Final Fantasy 16 did actually win the music score. I really love Final Fantasy music. I just bought the original Final Fantasy on Switch. Oh yeah, that'll be a good one. The original. They brought all the collections on Switches. Did you see the repixel versions of Final Fantasy? That is one that I wanted. I know I was speaking to Rune Mamba, and he actually said, "Holt, you definitely need to go and buy the repixeled versions." He said that the amount of love that's been put into sort of repixel it and put the music and the effects and the characters really make it worthwhile, especially being in a handheld. Final Fantasy, these games will be amazing on Switch. I know I've bought 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 Part 2 on the Switch, and I just love it. I just that's one of that is one of the franchises that just gets me all the time. I'm really happy to speak about Final Fantasy. And people in chat, I see Phoenix also is a big, huge fan of Final Fantasy. I've got part two pre-ordered, and once again, This is why I'm taking it easy over the holidays. I'm going to save me energy up, and then when Final Fantasy Rebirth comes out, I'm just going to run at it. I'm a big, huge Final Fantasy 7 fan. So that's a yes, the Pixel one looks brilliant, but it's expensive. Yeah, the whole collection. Oof, yeah, I remember seeing the price. I remember seeing the price and thinking to myself, I mean, that's fingers crossed. Maybe Santa will bring it to you, or fingers crossed it goes on a heavy sale, and you can enjoy them that way. I would love to go back and play them all from the original. It's funny because I sit there and complain about finishing games, and that I can play Final Fantasy 7 till 10 Part 2 again and again and again and again. It's like one of them games. Does anyone have one of them games where every generation you buy it again? You buy it again because you fear the nostalgia is so great that you're scared to ever let it go. I think I'm the same with Mario. I think I've double dipped on Mario 1,000 times. I just feel like I just can't let the franchise go. So, but yeah, I did did love Final Fantasy 16. That literally did make my month. And what a year! Like I just said, I just mentioned Forspoken, I just mentioned Octopath Traveler, I mentioned Final Fantasy 16. Putting them three games together, Square Enix deserves a round of applause. The music from all of them, the stories, the characters, I was just in love with Square Enix this year. It's going to be a shame because it's like because I actually consume so much from Square Enix. I'm like, well, what are the future years going to involve? I wish they staggered it. Phoenix says FFX his favorite is my favorite. Yeah, the one with Tidus, Blitzball, Una. Yeah, summons. I used to love the summons. They were really good. That was one of the games where I really grinded to beat the Dark Aeons. There was no achievements back then, but for some strange reason, I just felt the need to to push at games when I had so much free time that I can actually uh, beat stuff like extra hard bosses. Now I can't. Now I can't. But after I finished Final Fantasy 16, another game that I actually jumped in and I've seen a big, huge, big, huge following. A big, huge following was Pikmin 4. Have we got any Nintendo fans in the chat that really love the Pikmin series? I know. There's people like Purple Haze that really loved Pikmin, and I've seen a lot of people's excitement that the circles that I am went for Pikmin, and I just remember just kicking back. This is one of them Go games where I don't know what cozy means. I've seen a lot of people say cozy games and stuff like that, but if I could sit there and say what was a cozy game, I would definitely sit there and say about Pikmin. Do you know what? Right, I remember going back in the day with Final Fantasies, and I used to always buy the walkthroughs. It was never really for the enemies or stuff like that. I just loved the aesthetic of the book. I just love flicking through the pages of Final Fantasy characters and reading the biography and seeing the art design. And I mean, it did help that sometimes there was maps. There was maps and stuff like that. But I just they were back in the days. You should always get the hardback cover. Was it cheating back then, or was it just a way to appreciate an extra bit of nostalgia with the games? And back then, we started getting access to the internet. So I felt like I didn't really need the book because I can just Google it and search, Yahoo search these images. Let's just check chapters. So yes, we have a Nintendo and a Pikmin from Riva. Oh, you have to love the Switch. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it when it fades away. I'm gonna keep hold of it for a few more years because I'm gonna see what happens. Do I trust Nintendo that they're gonna bring all these games to like a digital library going forward? I don't want to double dip all these games again. So I feel like I want to keep hold of my Switch for a few more years until it actually dies. Really does. So yeah, and I just when I look back now and I'm talking, we just covered July. That's a lot of games. A lot of games. Did any of yous, why I'm actually on the topic about loads of games and stuff like that, did any of you see your games in review, the recap? So you could have your Steam recap, your PlayStation, your Nintendo and stuff like that. Did anyone love seeing their stats of 2024, 2023? What are they jumping a year? I see mine, and I was actually really impressed with mine. Not because of the long hours. I feel like the performance, the level of hours I put in was a very maintained level, should I say. I don't think I put too much hours in. I think I selected the games reasonably. I felt like that I had a good time, should I say, playing a lot of platforms and services at a healthy level of gaming, should I say. So come on, Reva. What did you say? Do you think your Steam, was you shocked seeing your recap of the year, or was you disappointed? It was a quiet year for me on PlayStation. Yeah, PlayStation was that. I mean, I just mentioned like PlayStation before because of the idea of PlayStation VR, but I felt it was really, really quiet. I remember was once on a panel and someone said, "Oh yeah, but Hoults PlayStation's just great," and I was like, apart from Spider-Man 2, I can't remember anything." And people's like, "Yeah, but you just mentioned Burn and Shaw's DLC, and you just mentioned PlayStation VR 2," and I'm like, they were little micro experiences. I don't think they were there for the majority of gamers." So I thought my little poor PlayStation was just sitting there collecting dust. We, each platform kind of all the way, as you say. It looks like when I was looking back over the year, it looks like I was more on handhelds. Props to Capcom for doing a great job on Resident Evil 4 Quest version. That is, I've got Resident Evil 4. I actually want to play the PlayStation VR 2 experience, but I've not even finished Village. I've not even finished Village on the PlayStation VR 2, but that was a game that a lot of people were really, really hyped to see. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think VR adds the dimensions to horror? I would think like that. I would have to play a new game because I feel like that if I play a game that I've already played story wise, I know where the jump scares are and I know where and it sort of takes you out the immersion, should I say? You quit Destiny. Ye- So this is that's what I feel. I feel like that I want to dive into many games. So we're looking for the first half years. I had the first few months. I had so much to play that I couldn't invest over 100 hours in one game. That's why I dropped out of the wrestling game. I used to play with Cowboy and the Wii Wrestling Wednesday. But once I hit over 100 hours, like, nah, it is fun, but I need to finish my list because gaming is a really good hobby for us. And I feel like that I'm sick and tired of seeing stuff go in the backlog just because I'll add a convenient factor. So it's good to see that people in chat this year had the little same thing. Did you like Lightfall, Reva? Did you like Lightfall? Or were you one of those gamers that didn't really like it and said it wasn't better than. Um, Now I know in chat this is where the month will go a bit weird now for me because I went into Mortal Kombat. I remember playing Mortal Kombat. Once again, I'm into fighters, but I know people in chat they fell in love with a game called Baldur's Gate 3, and people in chat you put hours in that game, and I think that's going to be a game where people in chat are going to mention that you had friends, you had great experiences, and it was just amazing. So I feel like if you want to give up a game like Destiny and stuff like that, and previous games in the month, that Baldur's Gate was the game that actually changed a lot of people's minds, and it changed the industry, didn't it? It shaped up the industry. I know Baldur's Gate 3. People were like, "Oh my god, it's a game in a lifetime," and we should demand more off developers. And I think that changed the gaming landscape in the second half of the year. And Baldur's Gate was just there, giving himself a pat on the back, and the fans loved it. And I've not played Baldur's Gate. I've got it. I haven't progressed, but I'm joining in a lot of people's chats. And Baldur's Gate 3 is the game. Bjorn, Phoenix, and stuff like that, they speak highly. You can see Reeve, Baldur's Gate 3. But epic. It just makes me want to play it. When I get some free time, I'll actually play a little bit of Baldur's Gate 3, and hopefully I don't get too addicted to it. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3, RIP my life. So there you go. So that's a game. Was it something that you accepted that it was going to consume so much time? Were you happy to put that much time in it, or would you say it was, you know, a grind or something like that? Was it something that you felt like you just? I know actually, I feel like all you guys were playing it right, and you were just having an amazing time from start to finish. That's what I've heard. Sanchez says, Lightfall was terrible for me. I played it for a month and then just moved on. So I heard a lot of people say that. A lot of people were really excited for it, and then it just died. Didn't really hear anyone in chat in this. So it's looking to see that we all had the same type of experience. But to me, I was just playing Mortal Kombat on the handheld. And one game that I was really looking forward to, but I really wanted to trust some fans, was Atlas Fallen. Did anyone play Atlas Fallen or see people play it? It was one game that I really wanted to play, and I just sat back. I sat back, and it just went past. And I just feel like August, I was just catching up. I was personally catching up. I thought August was a slow month for me, but I know the people who love Baldur's Gate, and there was another game coming up, Armor Core 6. So while I was sitting there, had nothing ready to play, I actually just seen people they just couldn't stop. Their gaming time was now. Armor Core 6 and Baldur's Gate 3. So if there's any big shout outs to anyone in chat that loved Armor Core 6. Yeah, Rude. That's who comes to my mind straight away. Phoenix Rude Diggs, the guy has got talent for these type of games. To me, like you just mentioned about Baldur's Gate 3, I can't play these type of games. I am absolutely crap. I am absolutely crap. I mean, I wouldn't mind building the builds, but the builds would have to be so to my play style. I would have to break the game to play it first, uh, because I'm not very good at like dodge and stuff like that. So in the end, I would have to be like the biggest tank you've ever see, just slowly taking the hits. And when I get I just hit you with one hit. That's my type of game. I'm like the slow titan out of Destiny. Big broad shoulders, just walking and slow going. I'm going to get you. It doesn't matter how much of the map's left. I'm going to get you when I do. Just slowly chipping at my health. But it's good to see people did enjoy Baldur's Gate and so Sanchez said, I really liked Liza P. I beat the first boss, but it's just too hard. Now, when we just mentioned about games in that, do you think the hard adds to the experience in gaming? To me, I can't play hard games anymore. I just don't. It's not that I couldn't apply time to it and learn the skills, but I just don't think I have got enough time to be proud to invest into a game to say I've finished on hard mode. So I play it on modes that I feel like I can happily feel challenged and move on. And when you see my trophies and achievements, I've got nothing really to brag about apart from I've played a lot of games. I mean, if you got the skill out there and these are your type of games, I love hearing these stories, but to me, it's just something I couldn't consume. So that I mean, that was month 8. So I'd say it was starting to unfold, wasn't it? We in 2023 we had people going, "Oh my god, remakes, remasters, DLC, not on here," and then boom, it all just came in one. And then we were all dreading, weren't we? Our wallets were crying, "Oh no, not the fall season! Please, not the fall season! I've got enough to play." So, and then the controversy came, didn't it? This is one of the biggest factors in gaming. I remember in 2023, Starfield. People thought, well, here it comes. The game's going to be terrible. Starfield, and I've heard some really good positive things, but I just remember sitting there in 223 thinking to myself, I don't want to hear it. I really don't. I've had a little bit too much downtime in 2023. I want a little bit of positivity. So, pardon me, sorry. You just I beat the game. Yeah, wouldn't a VR mode just blow up? I mean, I guess you played No Man's Sky then, haven't you, Sanchez, in VR mode? You can definitely see the joys in there. When people do it, I've heard more people talk happily about Starfield than negative. But what I was trying to say, the media and the coverage leading up to it was very attack, and I think that was all because of like Redfall and Microsoft's decisions in the past months. But yeah, I actually a game that I was looking forward to because I love racing games was The Crew, and then I just totally forgot about it. I think it was at a point in games where we all hype ourselves for something that you realise, it's just another one in the franchise. I can skip this one. And I feel like Ubisoft games go so fast on sale that I was thinking to myself, when the holidays come, maybe I'll buy this game. I tried No Man's Sky for a bit. You didn't like it? You didn't? Not your cup of tea, should I say? And you forgot about it and you got a code for it. Says it all, doesn't it? Says it all. We all got limited time, and I don't blame you. If you're playing great games like Baldur's Gate, Armored Core, the games that we just mentioned before, you think to yourself, what happened? Here he is, Rudigs. I was addicted to No Man's Sky. Have you ever played the VR mod for it, Rudigs? Or were you just playing basic? I don't say basic. Basic is a bit upset, but and because you like No Man's Sky, would you ever compare it to the likes of Starfield? Did Starfield get your hooks in you? Yeah, I can't play them games. I'm one of them gamers. I'm really happy to hear people's experience with open worlds, which I just mentioned. But I'm the guy that goes off the beaten path, and all I see is a tree, 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 and everyone's like, "But Holt, did you see that water witch? Do you ever see that little lonely robot?" I'm like, "No, just seen a tree, a rock." Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. Sometimes there's a lot of games there, Sanchez, that I would love to play myself, but I just think relaxing watching a streamer play it is more relaxing to me. I think, sorry, with these big games, I feel like I get lost. I feel like I get lost. Do you know what, Sanchez? It's good to actually hear that you're actually a racer with a wheel. I've got a wheel. I've got a Logitech G920 G29. I'm always fighting with it. Can't drive in real life, but that freaking force feedback. The wheel's practically spinning me round. I'm like that. I haven't got a clue. I'm like, is this how a car supposed to feel like? Is this what a brake feels like? The acceleration. I am terrible at racing games. I just wanted to be one of the cool kids thinking I could play racing games. Yeah, so that was September. I then forgot to mention this in September. I'm just looking here. Here's another game that got all the controversy. Payday 3. I know a lot of people were sitting there going, I'm looking forward to Payday 3 on Game Pass and stuff like that. And it just came and went, didn't it? And the people in the Payday community was like, "Huh? Huh? What happened there? It's not better than 2." And I felt sorry for the developers. We brought you a new game in the franchise, and I think the fan base were like, "Nah, it's all right. Let's forget about 3." I don't know if there's any Payday fans in the chat. In the chat. And there's another one, DLC. There was Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. Now I've not played this one because I've not even finished Cyberpunk. It's just too much a big game. But I heard so much good things about this Phantom Liberty. And I think to myself, I'm going to play this on GeForce now. I never got round to it. I was just too distracted by like that. And here's my guilty pleasure this year. You know, EA FC 24. I was just too busy playing that. Each year, same stuff, but I was just distracted playing that instead of actually playing great games. And I think that's because I've got family members that play sports games and friends. So that is my go-to. That's my shame game of the year. Shame game of the year. But good game overall. They added too much. I mean, if you want to talk about a controversial game, No Man's Sky was a very controversial game, wasn't it, on release? But developers kept on pushing, and then look what happens. It's now a game that people actually talk about. I think that's the problem, isn't it, with developers? They shouldn't be sitting there promising games everything. They should actually lower their scope sometimes and just deliver on what they promised initially, and then bring it all out. So while everyone was playing the games that I just mentioned in August and September, in October, I'm a big Disgaea fan. I was playing Disgaea 7 on Switch. And what I really loved about the Disgaeas now is that you can just put on auto mode. I know people's going to say, oh, that's cheating. But I feel like that once you get used to the characters and the builds and you need to grind, then sometimes it's just better just to put your character on auto and let it auto grind for you. Because I feel like sometimes in games, the higher the level so much, and especially in Assassin's Creed, and I feel like I haven't got time to actually do a slow grind. So in games like the Sky, I just feel like it really is a good game just to press auto battle and seeing how my characters will actually level up. And speaking about Assassin's Creed, wasn't there a game, Assassin's Creed Mirage, that came out that month as well? It was a game that I clicked buy and wanted to play it on GeForce Now, and I didn't get round to it. I didn't get round. It's one of the things where I love Assassin's Creed, and I really wanted to go back and play like the prequel story, and I just never got round to it. It was one of the games where I regret that I should have just waited when it was on sale. So as you can see, I'm starting to get my backlog. I'm not really playing games because I'm too distracted. And yeah, I was just adding it up. So if there's any Assassin's Creed fans that would shout at me and go, "Get back into Mirage, you need to finish it," hopefully I will this holiday. This holiday. Uh, and another one that I was really hyped for because I really love like Elden Ring and stuff like that. The games, you're not really good at that. I still like them. I actually picked up the Lords of the Fallen, right? And that was a game where I thought, I'm going to play that, and I just didn't. I don't know why. Once again, it was one of them hype things where I seen people hype it up until like the release trailers, then people started going, no, I'm not playing it. And I feel like people just moved on to like Spider-Man 2 in the talking points in that month over that Lords of the Fallen. And that is one get that's where hopefully people will buy it on the Christmas sales, New Year sales, and actually talk about Lords of the Fallen because I really want to get hyped for it again and actually see what happens. So Reaver's a big ass Assassin's Creed. No, big ass Assassin's Creed. I was gonna say, read it wrong. My fault. But uh, what's your favorite Assassin's Creed, Reaver? Mine, I love Brotherhood. I really like Brotherhood. That was one of my favorite ones. And then I like the London one when you had Evie and Jacob. Because what I liked about that is that there was multiple ways to get inside the building. I like that. I love the way that they had different abilities. Now, to me, it's like I love Assassin's Creed for doing assassin stuff. I don't like it when it was more Black Flag. I can't stand when you get the ship and you have to level up your ship and get goals and wards and progress. I hate all that. Hate all that. I just want to be sneaky and get me kills. I don't care about XP. I don't care about boats and stuff like that. That's not really Assassin's way. Wish I can just auto sail. I don't know, but a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, that's amazing! I love Assassin's Creed for them mechanics." And I'm like, "Nah, they are not for me. Not for me at all." In October, so in October, this was one of the month where it was for me now again because Spider-Man 2 came out, and I just remember just being so hyped for it. Loved the game, thought it was great, but I felt it just lacked. Maybe because I was so used to the idea of I've seen so much content and media surrounding about the storyline that Spider-Man didn't hit home to me. But it's definitely a game that I would sit there and tell people to run out, play, and I've seen a lot of people in chat play Spider-Man, but I'll definitely sit there and recommend people that if you didn't rush out on that time, then definitely go and get it on a sale, heavy sale. Definitely a good sale. So I don't know what did any of yous really enjoy the Spider-Man 2? Do you feel like it should have been Game of the Year? Or do you think it was rightfully put in its place by Baldur's Gate, Alan Wake, and stuff like that? And I feel like at this time of the year, I was calming down. I've seen all the hype from you guys talking about your games. I was playing my games, and I was just so happy to play Mario Wonder. I think like I just took so much extreme in playing games, getting hyped that now I was actually dying down my excitement for 2023 because I feel like we were coming to an end of it, and then we were just looking forward to the games in 2024. So but one game that I really regret I didn't play, and that's because you guys in chat and that I've mentioned it, Alan Wake 2. And I'm seeing it win accolades in the Game of the Year award. I'm like, why have I not played it? Alan Wake never caught my attention. It wasn't even in my radar. It just something that I just didn't think of considering. And then I seen you guys in chat just Alan Wake this, it's gonna win Game of the Year. I was like, oh my god, I have to listen to these gamers. These are decent gamers. And I thought to myself, reflecting back, maybe I should have just bought it, but that is definitely a game I should actually look back and actually think to myself, get it on sale, enjoy it, and then I can actually talk about it. I don't know. I don't know. Can you? I agree with that, Phoenix. Can you play Alan Wake 2 without playing the first one? I mean, I guess these days you can just watch it on YouTube or maybe watch a prologue and just maybe it'll tell you what the story is. But Alan Wake 2, once I started seeing it win the accolades, that's a game when I was like, I can't believe I like gaming and I just never thought about it. So what's Al? So Mountain Games it says what's Alan Wake 2? Horror survival. I think it's a horror. It's something that because people are talking about it, it's getting my ears pricked up, but it's something that I've not really considered. It was something I was not considering. I don't know why. I feel like I started getting game fatigue. You know, Baldur's Gate, all the games I just mentioned, the games that I was playing. I just started thinking to myself, at the end of the year, like I can't take risks. I can't take risks. That this is something that I will wait until the chat and the fans sort of twist my arm and shout, "Yeah, you definitely need to play it." It was 2023. This is the game of 2023. And usually I play a lot of stuff, but yeah, I admit it's the game that got away. It's the game that got, and I felt like that was the same last year with Elden Ring. I was late to the party. It's because I actually put my money towards Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy, and I feel like there's some games that go head to head that I feel like that I can't buy both, and don't recommend it. How come we don't recommend it? Oh, it was a dark grind. I'd say I don't like the idea of grinding too much. The idea is I'd rather just you know, WWE was game of the year. Nah, that game's broken. That game is broken. Yeah, I just but yeah, Alan Wake did, and when that won the accolades, I just give it a round of applause just because I knew there was a lot of people out there that really enjoyed it. Should I say? I can't. I'm just looking through the list in November. I don't think actually anything caught my attention in November. And I know seeing people talking about Star Ocean, which is an RPG I played in the past. Um, there was RoboCop. I know there's a few people that I know that are big, huge RoboCop fans, and they put it. But the only one that I was really happy to see was Tales of Arise DLC, which I still haven't played, and Like a Dragon Gaiden, which I was really happy that came to Game Pass. That was a Yakuza game, and I was just so happy that came free. And it came free. But I know that month was a very big month, and especially when it came to GeForce Now, was a lot of people got behind the idea of Call of Duty, and that's their game. If people can only buy one game for a lot of gamers, they either buy a sports game, that's an annual sports game, or they buy Call of Duty for the majority of games. I don't know if anyone in chat's a big, huge Call of Duty fan or a shooter, but this game was totally not in my radar. I've not really spoke to people about this game. I don't really know. Phoenix hasn't seen no Robocop footage. I've not neither. I don't watch it, but I know that there's a few people in the Discords that I joined that love Robocop, and I think maybe that's a nostalgia thing than actually game mechanic. Should I say? And last but least, December. I just didn't even think of nothing in December. Let's have a look. I don't know. Has anyone bought any games in December? Probably Mountain Gamers probably bought Disney Dreamlight Valley. Probably know that. But see, December's now the time of year, isn't it? But I like to show we're reflecting back, thinking to ourselves, what was the highs and lows of 2023? And there was a few people in chat that really got sales. I'm looking forward to seeing like games that I want in sales. I'll stick to My Little Pony vet. It's too scary. Yeah, I'm not really I'm not really these days horrors. I love being scared, but I don't. Fear is not the best emotion that I want to feel by playing games. So Phoenix says Cyberpunk expansion was that Phantom Liberty. It's all going to come out next year with the whole bundle, should I say? Viva has Dreamlight Valley. How would you say? Would you recommend it? Is it a very family friendly game? I bought my family members a few months ago the last Disney one. I can't remember what it was called. It wasn't called Dreamlight Valley, I think. You're already so everyone's excited for Cyberpunk stuff like that. Was you all have you all finished Cyberpunk the first one before you jump into DLC, or are you sort of just winging it? So Reva recommends Disney Dreamlight Valley. And I'll have a look at that. That's the first recommendation. So Alan Wake 2 and Dreamlight Valley. I love Speedstorm. So reflecting back in the year, reflect back into 2023, do you think that's what you want going forward? Do you think it was a very well-paced year, or do you think it was too overwhelming with too much things to compete against each other? Like there was just too much epic games. So in the end, you could sit there and say, I think Spider-Man, Zelda should have won, for example, but there was just too much of greatness. Or maybe do you feel like it was a very distant point in the year for you? Maybe 2024 is going to be your year. Do you ever feel like going back, it was enough for you as a gamer? Maybe as was it also for you in the handheld space, a VR space, a cloud space? What was 2023 for you? Crystal's 100% of it. Hey, achievements are achievements. If you got the skill in that game, you got the skill in that game. So, so before I round, I'm still about half an hour. I'm just saying about 2023. Do you want the same momentum going forward in 2024? I mean, me, I've already got some pre-orders ready for the 2024, but I feel like maybe I can sit back, maybe and have a look at these sales and actually catch up on 2023 because I feel like compared to a lot of people in chat, I've played a different range of games compared to you guys and recommending in games. This is the whole point of this holiday stream was just to actually get people talking about the games that came and went. Did the were they too harsh? Did the come back? Would you recommend them at a lower price? You know, it's a price to performance change the mindset of people on the holiday sales. Because I would recommend every game that I mentioned. I would recommend if you could sit there like Mortal Kombat. If you wasn't willing to pay full price, I would recommend Mortal Kombat. Great little story, great little fight. If you like fight mechanics, if you're a racer, I'll definitely recommend Forza Motorsport, which I didn't even mention. Can't remember what month that came out. September maybe, but I actually love Forza Motorsport. October it came out. Uh, yeah, I love a bit of Forza. It's just so relaxed. That's my go-to game, just to relax and chill. Put some podcasts on. I don't really pay attention. I don't really know much about cars, but it's just one of them games that I just like sitting back and playing. Mortal Kombat took 4.5 hours to install. What a long installer. Was that from the disc? Oh, I can't do that. One of the games like years ago, I just remember dreading installing was Metal Gear Solid 4 and Devil May Cry 3. Was it a 4? Sorry. And I just remember sitting there looking at it, and it was installing from the discs in the past, and I just remember thinking to myself, "This is painful. This is painful." Everything that was the day when I realised, why is everything going to the hard drive? Can't you read it off disk anymore? Then I realised you have to unpack it, install. Oh, I haven't got 4.5 hours to look at a screen. That's why I like the cloud. The cloud. You'll have more time. You'll have more time with Tekken. Tekken 8's a big one. I've got That's one of my games I've actually pre-ordered. So it looks like we're going in the 2024 talk, and it looks like that we want to hit the ground running in January. And I know that you guys are going to agree with me. First we're actually first we're going to play Tekken, and then Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Oh, that is straight away. That's going to be a few 100 hours for me in January and February. And then I have actually got in February Yakuza Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. So I know I'm actually going to plow some really serious hours in games in the first uh, 2 months. And then I'm probably going to get burnt out. I think I'm going to hate gaming after that. I'm just going to put so much love in them free games that's my 2024. I'll be like, does anyone feel like that? Does anyone plan their year effectively to get the best time of gaming, or do you just do you guys just wing it and go with the flow of what time you've got free? I couldn't tell you about sizes on Final Fantasies. I mean, I bought a SSD, 2 terabytes SSD, because I think the PlayStation hasn't got enough memory storage. You look at games these days and about 150 gig plus, and that's even before they even told us it's going to be 2 discs. So Final Fantasy Rebirth, 2 discs, you can imagine the size of that. You probably need the whole PlayStation 5 space just for that game. Definitely worth it though. I'll actually delete everything off my PlayStation for that. But only if it was simple and it was on GeForce now. That's how I like to do it. Or if I've got like large capacity for storage, that's what I'll do. So does any of you feel like you're going to carry on your 2023 gaming in 2024, or do you think once like the Tekken 8 and Final Fantasy come, you're going to drop everything? Because I know I'm going to drop everything. Final Fantasy 7 and Tekken and Yakuza. Yeah, yeah. Just that's going to be what would you say 2025, 2026 for GTA 6? Yeah, 200 gig easy. Yeah. Oh, cheers, Maker. So, Maker, did you enjoy your 2023? Did you enjoy your 2023 of gaming? Would you say it was a big win for gaming, or do you feel like it was a letdown more than it was more epic? Because when I was just speaking about them games, your name pops into my head for a lot of them. You and Rudigs and stuff like that. I mean, Phoenix, that's responsible, isn't it? Keep your 2023, push through the backlog, and then wait until a game comes, and then do you think you could you hold out for games? I mean, I told you I'm not a very responsible gamer. Sanchez, he says he is. Do you think you when a game like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes out, you could wait for it, or do you think you're going to find the best um, sale? It's the best price, day one price for it. You think it sucked for the studio and devs? Yeah, there was a lot of hate towards a lot of studios and devs and cuts and money and leaks. It's still happening now. I think that's going to happen in 2024 as well. I mean, 2024 drama's already starting now. I've heard people sit there and bash Suicide Squad. I'm like, oh my god, that's gonna be is that gonna be another Gollum, guys? I hope not. I like the Suicide Squad, but to me, I'm like, is that gonna be a game that's gonna be dead on arrival? Do you think there's gonna be too many people that are gonna say, well, I've got too many great things in 2023. I'm not gonna play that game in 2024? Yeah, I mean, the whole point is playing games that you didn't finish in 2023. I can go back and mention a lot of games I didn't finish in 2022. I feel like I can easily sit back and just catch up on everything. But then here's one for you. Does any of you get addicted to sales? Like, do you ever realize when you see sales, you just, even though you don't need it, you just run out and fill up your basket with everything? You're like, look, here's a game for $9. I'm going to put that in my basket. And you just hoard, you digitally hoard games. I've tried to stop doing that, but that is sort of me at the time. My friends keep on recommending me stuff. I'm like, no, do I really need that? Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Make it when you see it, especially on Steam, you just see these prices and you think it's too good to true, and you're like, "You'll never be on this price ever again. You'll never be on this price. I need it now." And then you realise it's on sale every single month for forever. Good on games, yeah. I feel like I think 2023 has actually spoiled us in everything: remakes, remasters, DLCs, sequels, and stuff like that. I think it's been an epic year. I'm really glad that I got to enjoy the games that I've got, but I definitely need to sit on my hands a little bit and actually enjoy the games I actually picked up. So definitely, I need to play Baldur's Gate 3. I know you guys have played it. I need to play Baldur's Gate 3. I need to go back to Lords of the Fallen, and I just need to put some investment time in it and maybe have the same experiences as you have. Yeah, so we're all sucker for sales. We are. I mean, to me, what I feel like that because I get like cheap discount codes and stuff like that. I feel like that's why I don't wait for sales because my logic is because I've got a friend who goes half with my games. I've got family members who go half with me. I feel like buying a cheap discount code like top up credit and going half with a friend gives me two digital games. I know it's the price of one, but that's how I justify my price spending. If you ever got rid of like sort of family share or spending, I just couldn't game. Just couldn't. I just couldn't. I'm just trying to catch up with chat and see what people are saying. Purple Haze is in chat as well. Hey, Purple. A great content creator that, like I mentioned before, that thanks to her, I sat back and watched Bramble. Thanks to her, and a lot of horror games that I like, sort of like story based, interaction based games that really make me sit back. Oh, I wish I played that game now. But thanks to Purple Haze, I actually got the gist of it and experience in chat and by watching her play these games. And I feel that that's what's great. That's what's great speaking to a community. We've all got stories and experience to share. Sometimes we can sit back, and sometimes we don't take um, too much risk in gaming, and we can just let other people sort of play it and then twist our arms to get it, especially when it's on sale. I mean, I seen Bramble. Bramble was actually a great place on Steam. If you bought the previous game, Sutton of the North, it was like with the fox, or something like that. It reduced it by 50% on Black Friday. So the game could have been $15, but if you bought Spirit of the North, it reduced it by 50%. So the game came like $7 plus the $2 of that game as well. Very good deal. Very good deal. I actually got it for my Steam Deck. I'll actually go round and actually play Bramble, but I've actually seen people play it, so maybe I'm not as brave as these people playing scary games. So, about you, Purple? Do you feel like you had a good 2023 in games? There's a lot of games that came to my mind, like Pikmin 4, Tears of the Kingdom, uh, the Bramble, that I've mentioned that you instantly came to my mind by thinking that. So, in it weird that you can sit there and you can talk, you can think about gamers, they think, oh, that's a perfect game. If I wanted a bit of advice off these, they're the go-to people. They are the go-to people to speak. And it's just great seeing in chat that we've all been playing a very range of games, and we've all had this same healthy opinion in gaming. We've seen the ups and downs, but we're still level-headed, and we can still express nicely and recommend these games, should I say. And that's lovely, isn't it? I mean, when I seen the people in the game of the year and everyone was just hostile and, "No, my game lost," I'm like, just calm down. It's only games. It's only a hobby. It's not the end of the world. I mean, Purple, I've just actually seen 2024, my 2024, Rise of the Ronin, another one. I've just South Park, Snow Day. Uh, that's just got announced, the release date. So I'm naming like 6 games already in 2024, and I'm like, I know I should be like, "Hoults, calm down, enjoy with your 2023, see what you're saying to chat, enjoy it," and the hype train is just it's going again and it's again and again. And I know that I was saying that in the past, like gaming become fatigued because I've played franchises that I've already known because of like Dead Space, uh, Resident Evil 4 remake, and then there was DLCs, and I felt like uh, Spider-Man didn't really hook me. Tears of the Kingdom wasn't that much evolution from a Zelda game. I felt like now I was stagnated in 2023. For even I should have been playing the games that you guys were playing, but I feel like 2024 is definitely going to be my year. 2024 is going to have my, and that's like Tekken 8, Final Fantasy 7, Like a Dragon, Rise of the Ronin, South Park, Star Wars Outlaws. Oh my god, it just comes natural to roll them off, to roll them off. And I want it. I want it. I want gaming to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And hopefully, I get a little bit wiser in how I spend and apply my time in these gaming, because it's getting harder and harder to play everything at once. And I think the marketing is trying to get us to be like this. And I feel like we have to be responsible and sit back and just pick our very best ones. Oh, good night, Phoenix. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Remember, enjoy your have cookies for Christmas. Cookie party for everyone. Have a great holiday yourself. Relax, put your feet up, and enjoy the games. And I think that's me. That's me. I think I've recapped 2023 and very well. And I have to thank Chat. I have to thanks Chat for engaging with me and recommending games that I've missed out, and hopefully there's some games that I've mentioned in a list that you might be interested in the holidays to share with yourself, a loved one, family member for the Christmas holidays. And I know to me it'd be especially for the younger ones if you'd actually wrap up games, physical games, and give them as gifts. They do make good gifts if you've got gamers in the family. I've got nieces and nephews that I just wrap up Christmas games that they've not played. They wait for Christmas Day to get some of these games. So that's going to be a magical experience, a magical experience. So I hope we can all enjoy what we had in 2023 and apply some healthy habits going forward in 2024. And yeah, we're gonna have plenty of things to definitely talk about, even if it's dipping back into a 2023 and comparing 2024 to 2023. That's what it's all about, isn't it? That's what it's all about. So anyway, guys, that's it. I'm going to show you this before I go. I don't know if you can see it. I don't want to put next to me technology, but little Christmas cup. So I've been talking for an hour and a half and something like that. I didn't even have me sip of water, but I got it in a lovely Christmas theme. So this is it's not as luxury as water. It's not as luxury water as certain people mention. This is just normal tap water. Nothing magical about it. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you liked the holiday special. You actually made it fun for me to engage with you, and I'm going to wish you all the best. To you, your loved ones, your family and friends, have a good Christmas. Share it with all the joy you can, and if you can get away and sneak up on a little handheld, a little cheeky telly, and get a bit of gaming after everyone's relaxed and calmed down, then it's a win-win. That's what the hobby's all about. Sanchez, where's the tea? I don't drink tea. I'm not that type of Englishman. Don't drink coffee neither. So thanks for joining, guys. And that's me out. And I hopefully you enjoyed the special. And I'll see you soon. So bye bye for now, guys.